Professionals have been struggling with assertiveness for a long time. They're afraid that they're either too quiet or that they're coming on too strong. But being assertive isn't about being aggressive, and being passive isn't necessarily good. You might think it is, but it actually isn't. Assertiveness is about clarity, confidence, and respect. And in this video, I'm gonna break it down for you. What's the difference between assertive, passive, and aggressive? And then I'm going to go through the attitudes and behaviors in speech of assertive people. Do you pull away when someone confronts you or disagrees with your idea? Are you thrown off course when your manager throws something at you that you didn't expect? How many times do you hesitate to assert yourself or state your needs because you are afraid how the other person will respond? Are you comfortable advocating for what you need from others, including your managers, to be successful? Self-confidence is the #1 game changer in the business world. One way we build self-confidence is by being assertive. And right now I want to make this very clear for you and really go through what's passive, aggressive, and assertive, because I know in when I'm teaching and talking about it, or when I hear workplace scenarios, someone will tell me the story and what they did, and they thought they were assertive, and I'm like, no, that was aggressive. So let's set this straight before we get into the behaviors and attitudes. My workshop participants have described passive: quiet, you're a pushover, you're compliant, no eye contact. Then they describe aggressive: you're mean, you're a steamroller, you're dismissive, you're a bully, you're forceful. Assertive they define as respectful, confident, you're a team player, you're knowledgeable. Well, I learned, and these are great, they're all true. Yes, I agree. Again, however, how come people aren't really being assertive? So I learned something a very long time ago, how to differentiate all three, that I want to share with you because I think it's golden. Passive people only care about what others think about them or what they do. Now you might say, but what's wrong with that? Shouldn't I care about others? Passive people care so much about others, they sacrifice themselves, and they sacrifice getting what they need. That's not good. Aggressive people only care about themselves, so they don't care how they ask for something, what they do. It's about them. Assertive people care about their own needs while caring about others. And so they think about what they say and how they act. That's where you want to be. So what are the benefits? Let me share a few with you, and then we'll get in again to the behaviors and actions so you know how you can be more assertive. A few of the benefits: it's reduced anxiety. I agree. It reduces your anxiety because, again, you're not holding things in. You know, at work, we have to meet deadlines, we have to meet demands, and we do count on other people to follow through. And if they're not, we need to know how to talk to them and what to say. It gives us a feeling of control. I like control. You get resolution of the situation. You choose when to push a situation and not. Meaning, I love this. When you're assertive, you feel things out and you decide if you want to push. If somebody's pushing back to you, do I? Where a passive person's just going to fall back and cave in. And an aggressive person's going to be a steamroller and they're not going to win. I love this. It protects you from being taken advantage of. So here's something from the Mayo Clinic, folks. Being assertive is typically viewed as a healthier communication style. It does help, keep people from, again, overwhelming you and steamrolling you. So what do assertive people do? Here are a few of the strategies or descriptors of assertive people. So first of all, they're direct and specific. They don't beat around the bush. Now the thing is, they think about how they're going to say something. And when we dig into communication styles, we look at red communicators are very strong, straightforward. They're more fact people, not about the feelings. So if that's you, yes, be direct, but think about how you're going to say something so people are open to you. They outwardly confront something instead of holding it in. Now, there are times that we do have to maybe hold back on something, and I talk about that in the Dragons video. That's the one on conflict and with your coworkers. We talk about that, so sometimes you do, but most often assertive people know it's not healthy to hold something in. Another is they tend to take immediate action instead of waiting months or weeks and bearing something. So meaning when something in your workplace or something isn't clear with your leader or with another colleague or another department, try to address it within 24 hours, not let it simmer, and just, again, have that direct communication. Another one, I love this, as we talked about just a little while ago, they walk away at their choosing. Assertive people do know when to walk away, but it's their choice, not because it's forced. Here's another one you could start right after you hear this video. It's establish deadline. When somebody says to you, oh, as soon as possible, how many times do you say, when do you need this? Oh, as soon as possible. That's not a good answer, folks, okay? Because everybody wants everything as soon as possible, but you can't do it. So here's two things. One is when somebody delegates to you, ask them by when do you need this? What is the latest date by which you need this? Now, do you see, I'm going to answer differently. I'm not going to say as soon as possible. I may say by end of today, or now I'm thinking differently and say, well, if I have it in 3 days from now by end of the work day. Now you know how to prioritize your work, which reduces stress. All of these things tie together, okay? The other thing, give people deadlines. You have to help give people deadlines so they know and they can prioritize. Because you know what? If you don't give me a deadline, do you know where your request is going? Underneath all the other people who gave me deadlines. That's where you're going, to the bottom. So if you want to get what you need by when you need it, give deadlines. It's a good thing. You help others prioritize. I love this one. This is a really unique talent and trait of assertive people. They show others the relationship between their actions and results. So what does that look like in the workplace? So I maybe have my leader who's always bringing things to me at the last minute. So I might say, Joan, when I receive a project at the last minute or something to do at the last minute, it's stressful for me. I feel like I can't really think about it. Maybe I'm not going to deliver the quality of work that you want. I may not have the resources I need. I can't double check my work. Do you see, I'm showing a connection. On the other hand, I could say, Joan, when I get a project or an assignment in advance, I can do a much better job. I can weave it into my priorities. I can really give it attention. I can think about it, or I can do research. Do you see the difference? Now, this encourages me to do the behavior that works for you. This is very deep. This is a special talent that you should work on. The other is go to the source, meaning, if you've heard something or whatever, just always go to the source of the information and give them an opportunity to clarify things for you. So I love that one. The last piece is I want to share with you, assertive communication isn't just knowing, what to say, it's how you say it. Again, assertive people, I can be assertive with a smile on my face, okay? Do you see, it's the words you use, it's your body language, and sometimes you need more serious body language, okay? Not messing around. But that's where your emotional intelligence then comes into play. Now, what about choosing? How do I know if I should assert myself? There is risk. I want you to know that up front. There's always a risk, involved. So let's talk about pros and cons. So what you can do is make a list. Here are all the pros. If I assert myself in this situation or with this project or whatever, here are all the things that could go right. On the other side, we're going to list the cons and what could go wrong, what might not work. I might get pushback from that other person. The next step is critical. You're not going to go by the number of pros and cons because you might say, oh, there's 4 pros and 1 con. You go by weight. If the weight of that 1 con is heavier than your 4 pros, you don't do it. So that's the trick. You could have 1 pro and 4 cons. If my pro outweighs all of the cons, I'm going to do it. And then this little piece here, this visual, this is really cool because really when we want to assert ourselves, you actually start with the end. What do I want to see as a result of what happened? So you've got to see, what do I want out of this? What do I need out of this? Now use assertive communication to experience positive results. So that's it. It says here, by practicing assertiveness, we create a world where everyone has a voice, mutual respect thrives, and each individual's unique qualities are celebrated. These strategies are part of our Star Achievement series by Office Dynamics. This program has been taught in Fortune 500 companies and attended by tens of thousands of office professionals. The program is available virtually, or we can bring that program on site for organizations who want to grow together. If you found this information valuable, I encourage you to watch the rest of the videos. They build on each other. This is a strategic training program, and you will learn so many tools that you can apply in today's workplace. They are real, they are proven techniques, and they are actual techniques that people have lived and seen the benefits from. Thank you for watching.